Thank you. Wow, I have to follow such a powerful, commanding officer with such a presence. Oh my God. He's like Richard Gere in An Officer and Gentleman. Oh my God. I almost wish I was a woman right now. Oh my God. Wait, I think I need to salute him. Where is he? I need to salute the guy. Commander, can you come back? I need to salute you. Thank you. Actually, I was a military officer many, many, many years ago. I lasted 1 year only. I was not really a good military officer. I was more like an undercover happiness officer. What I was doing is, it's true, I was taking my crew, my team, and I was making them talking about their feelings and their emotion. Can you imagine that? At the army, it didn't work well with everyone at the camp. I'm super happy to be here and talk about happiness. In this beautiful, happy island with, let me check, yes, beautiful, happy people, the chief happiness officer of the island, Mike Hellman. I think Grandma was right. God exists, at least today. I want to talk to you about happiness, and there's many misconceptions. Happiness, for me, is a deep value for society. It's not just going out, having a good time. For some of you, going to the Love Festival until 2 a.m. I know, I saw you, I was there. It's much more than this. It's really a deep value for society. Happiness, there's many definitions of it. Mine is, how can you create a life around your value, around what's really, really important to you? There have been many, many speakers and researchers over the years about happiness, especially personal happiness. I'm thinking of Wayne Dyer, who sadly passed away a month ago. I'm thinking of Tal Ben-Shahar. And many also institutions, foundation, NGO. I'm thinking of what Bhutan has been doing for many years with the Gross National Happiness Index. Amazing thing, but strangely enough, very few of us have been specialized on happiness at work. And we do spend 8 hours at work, right? I mean, most of us. So what can we do? And the numbers are very, very scary. Almost 90% of people are disengaged at work or actively disengaged at work. And some of you I know, because I've had this conversation before, are thinking, especially type A personality, logical mind, rational people, they're thinking, it's okay, Arnaud. It's about emotion, stuff like this. We don't really care. The world goes on, the economy is fine. Well, no. Look at this number. I love to show this. $450 billion. That's the cost of unhappiness in the world. Yes, $1 billion, like Bill Gates' billions of dollars. Now you're getting it. And so we have to do something about it. It's bad for the economy. It's bad for the world. It's bad for everyone. So it's a good challenge for me to tackle. And at this point, you're thinking, yeah, but what does a Frenchman know really about happiness at work? We're not really famous for that, right? We're famous for other things. But I won't go into that tonight. A typical Friday between two Frenchmen will go like this. It's 1 p.m. They are lunchtime. Having, maybe 1 or 2 bottles of wine. And they say, it's 1 p.m. now. What are you going to do? I don't know. Maybe I go back to work. It's 1 p.m. after all. Or maybe I go on strike. Or maybe I join one of the protests in town. This is what we do. We love this lifestyle. We pride ourselves on being miserable. But a few years ago, I tried to change that. I had a TV show on happiness in France. But I think what happened is the minute they realized I might have an impact on society, they got scared. They got so upset. Making French people happy is dangerous. So why did I get interested in happiness then? Specifically happiness at work. 3 key experiences. First, It's 1992. All those millennials, you were babies, you don't know anything. I'm so ambitious. I want to conquer the world. I still remember I was putting my necktie every day. I was looking for the best internship, and I landed best finance firm of Paris. If everything goes right, I'm going to make $500K a year. I'm so happy. But I'm still myself. I do my work, and I do it well. But I befriend everyone. I organize events. I do fun things around the office. And my boss sit me down after 6 months. Arnaud, ça va pas du tout. From now on, you've got to stop, you stay at your office, you make your calls, you make your trade, and you shut up. At that point, I realized this is not a career for me. It's fine. Even if I never become rich, I don't care. I'm going to pursue joy and connection and people who value personal connection like me. So I spent the next 15, 20 years around the world looking for those experiences. China, Africa, Japan, you name it. Really fascinating thing. And every time I stood up for my passion, really have a good time. It's now 2008. I'm an actor and stand-up comedian in LA. Things are fine. I just did Last Comic Standing as a quarter-finalist. I'm at the Comedy Store twice a week. Things are good. Then my agent called me. I know you book a comedy role. You're going to play the crazy Frenchman. What else? And I'm super happy, so I rushed to the meeting. I still remember, wow, it's in Long Beach. If you know LA, it's like 2 hours from LA. And I get there, and the whole crew is one side, and the whole actors at one side. And we're all excited, and we're waiting to hear the director to speak, right? But as soon as he speaks, our motivation decreases. Why? Nothing on his passion, on his fire, on his mission, on why we all here, this tribe that he created. I think it's so important to share every time. For him, it was just management by fear. I'm sure many of you have experienced that. It's now 2013. So after being in movies, in finance, even technology and other things, I decided it's time for me to center myself, to maybe dare to say to explore my soul, explore my spirit. And I thought the best way to do that is to volunteer. So I start in East LA, and then I end up in Africa for 6 months. And then I end up in South America. And then I land up not in Ecuador, not in Quito, the capital, but a very small village deep in the heart of the Amazon. Beautiful, wonderful, incroyable, as we say in French. Here, I really discovered what happiness was. And it was not just going after excitement like I did so many times in my life, or just joy and good times, but it was really, really about connection. How can you create a tribe with people around you? That's what those people, some of you call them primitive, they are the one who taught me the biggest lessons of all. So I didn't learn that in New York, Tokyo, or Shanghai, but right in the small village with those people. That changed the course of my life. I stopped doing comedy, I stopped doing film, I stopped doing technology. And I say, I'm going to dedicate my life to make a priority for any organization, group, to feel as a tribe, to feel connected, to share a story. And that's what I've been. So I've been a chief happiness officer for the last 2 years. And I've been very fortunate to be able to work in Middle East, in Europe, in America, all over. And going and having people sharing stories so they just connected forever. That's my thing. My goal is, I go the first day of the workshop, I say, now you're going to all take off your mask. I want no mask. I want just you and yourself today, your pure self. And it's fascinating, and everyone wants it. No matter if there's 15 guys or 50 people in the workshop, it works every time, which is fascinating. So which means, at the core, everyone wants to belong. Everyone wants to be connected. So it's been quite fascinating. At this point, some of corporation people, I'm sure in the room, are thinking, it's the role of human resource people. It's not the role of some emotional guy, emotional French guy to do that. But human resource. Not everyone in Aruba is like Ika Jones, an amazing resource manager, so I've heard. Not everyone has the time and dedication she loves people with. People are overwhelmed in human resource. There's rules and regulations and timing and turnover. Let's back up now and look at the management in general. Why finance positions were created in the 70s, in the 80s, because accountants were not enough. We needed someone dedicated in the company to make sure how to grow and manage the revenue. Why did we create marketing position? Because sales positions were not enough in the 50s, in the 60s. We needed someone to grow the customer bases. Same thing in human resource. We need the Chief Happiness Officer. I see 5 missions for the Chief Happiness Officer, CHO. First is a liaison. I love to say liaison. It's a French word, right? Sounds good. Liaison is a liaison between the employee and the management. 2, he assesses the emotional well-being of the company. What's going on now? What's working in the company? Where they at in terms of connection, emotion to each other? Is there something? Is there really a soul in the company? 3, the stressors. This is the most important part, really. What doesn't work? Every company is different. But is it the fact that the employee culture is bad and they're backstabbing each other, for instance? And then we're going to address that. Is it the fact that the CEO is emailing until 2 a.m.? Maybe we have to change that, right? Some laugh. Which company are you from? No, after, we don't have time. Story. Then once you know what's happening in the company, once you know what's working, what's not working, you can then create a happier culture, a happier work culture, a work culture so meaningful there is a sense of belong to. And finally, he's got to maintain that newfound happiness, that newfound connection. The only way to do it, there's no secret, it's coaching. Coaching, group exercise coaching, or even one-to-one coaching, even 10 minutes coaching. Why? Because at least the employee know that the management gets your back. 2 results if you find the right CHO for your company. First, the company is going to do superbly, up to 30% more productivity, and much more innovative than ever. 90% of the company are afraid for their business model in the next 5 years. And the last thing, it's the most important because that's for everyone else. Everyone else who's not a CEO, a manager, who doesn't manage a team, who just has to receive an order from someone, is what I call the key happiness indicator. It's what you receive as an employee. Not to mistake with what you call in a company the KPI. I'm sure some of you have heard, right? KPI, Key Performance Indicator. You know what it stands for me? Keep your personnel insecure. It's management by fear again. What about some lightness? Key HI. First, that's my goal, right? So that's my goal. Every time we do a workshop, every time we work with a company, that's what I want them to feel by the end, and then 6 months later, and then 18 months later. First, recognition of what you do by the management and your peers. We want to hear, yes, you've done a good job. Yes, your contribution mattered to the company. We don't hear that enough. 2, individually challenge. I have so many talks with CEO manager. They say, oh, this guy is fine. He's got a great salary. He's got a great prestige job. He's a VP, blah, blah, blah. No, it doesn't work. There's a rule that says that it takes 1,000 days for anyone at work to get bored. So you need to challenge that. You need to address that. Then autonomy. I don't know. I have a French accent when I say autonomy, but whatever. Autonomy. You'll get it. Autonomy, it's the ability for each employee to tweak the process that the management, the brilliant management maybe, have created some 10, 20 years ago. You need to leave your employee, to let your employee recreate a new process. And you'll see they'll thank you 10 times back. And then joy and lightness. I still don't believe, I mean, I went to a company in New York. I don't mention it, but I went to a company in New York recently. Everything is so white and boring. I mean, we're in 2015. How can you, is it just like desk and computer? I mean, come on, put some colors. Is it pink or whatever? Maybe not pink if you're not, yeah? But whatever. Put some colors, or bring a stand-up comedian once a week, or I don't know, bring a painter on the side of the office, you know, painting his thing when everyone else is on PowerPoint. You need to bring some lightness. And then, of course, this is the most important. This is the big thing we find in workshop over and over. It's the trust. almost 99 companies, I say, I visit, they don't have the time to be so trustful about their employees. So you need to create the trust. And the only thing to do that is to share a story. I'm going to leave you with this. Happiness at work, everybody wants it, yet no one does anything about it. It's time for sustainable change. Again, 9 out of 10 employees are disengaged at work. What if we bring this number to a 5? Can you imagine the difference, how much more productive and innovative the company will be? This has been the industrial revolution. There's been the information revolution. Let's create a work culture revolution. Once again, where the work culture is so meaningful that everyone is connected. So invest in happiness, hire a chief happiness officer so everyone can say, Mita sinti bon na trabo. Please, everyone with me. Please, with me, everyone, together. Mita sinti bon na trabo. Thank you very much. Woo.